There comes a time in every life when the road grows dark, when the winds of hardship howl against us, and when our dreams seem buried beneath the weight of despair. In those moments, the question is not whether we will fall, it is whether we will rise again. My friends, greatness is not born in comfort, nor is courage shaped in calm waters. It is forged in fire, tested in storms, and proven in the silence of struggle. The world does not remember those who surrender to their pain. It remembers those who stood up despite it. To rise above every circumstance is to believe deep within your soul that no prison is strong enough to hold the spirit that refuses to be broken. It is to say, I am not defined by what has happened to me, but by what I choose to become. No matter where you come from, no matter what chains have bound you, within you lies the power to rise, to stand taller than your suffering, to turn your scars into strength, and to walk through the fire without losing your flame. Every human being, no matter where they are born, no matter what name they carry, faces storms that test the very limits of their soul. Life, my friends, does not promise comfort. It promises challenge. Each of us walks through moments when the world seems unfair, when the doors of opportunity close before us, and when even our dreams feel distant. But it is in those moments of struggle that our true character is revealed. For it is easy to walk tall when the sun shines upon us, but greatness is measured by how we stand when the rain falls, when the night is long, and when no one is watching. I have learned that pain, as cruel as it may seem, is often the teacher that shapes our courage. Injustice, though heavy, awakens within us the will to fight for what is right. Rejection, though it cuts deep, reminds us that our worth is not defined by the opinions of others. Defeat, though it bruises our pride, teaches us the strength of humility. These trials are not meant to destroy us. They are meant to reveal what lies within us. They are the fires through which iron becomes steel, the storms through which faith becomes unshakable. When I walked through the long years of confinement, there were days when hope seemed like a distant star. Yet even in those walls, I discovered something powerful, that the human spirit cannot be imprisoned unless it chooses to surrender. You may take away a man's freedom, but you cannot take away his dignity if he chooses to keep it. You may strip him of comfort, but you cannot silence his will to rise again. That is the essence of greatness, not found in the ease of life, but in the courage to endure the hardest of days with the same strength and grace as the best of them. We live in a world that often confuses success with comfort. Many believe that to be great is to live without struggle. But I say to you, true greatness is born in the shadows of adversity. It is born in the heart that refuses to give up, in the soul that stands firm when the winds of fate turn cold. Every great leader, every pioneer, every reformer the world has ever known has walked through suffering. They did not rise because the world was kind to them. They rose because they refused to be defeated by it. You and I are no different. The circumstances that surround us may be heavy. The injustices we face may feel unbearable. But within each of us lies the power to respond, not with fear, not with surrender, but with faith. Faith that every struggle has a purpose. Faith that every night, no matter how long, gives way to dawn. Faith that the spirit of humanity is greater than any obstacle it encounters. For when we respond to pain with patience, to rejection with resilience, and to injustice with integrity, we rise above the circumstances that seek to define us. There will be moments when you will question your path, when the voices of doubt whisper that you are not enough. In those moments, remember that even the tallest tree once began as a small seed buried in darkness. It did not grow by avoiding the storm, but by standing firm through it. Likewise, your trials are not your end. They are the beginning of your transformation. Each difficulty you face is shaping you, molding you, strengthening the foundation of who you are meant to become. Greatness is not a destination that some are born to reach, while others are not. It is a decision to rise when you fall, to believe when hope is faint, and to keep walking even when the road disappears beneath your feet. Every act of endurance, every step of faith, every moment you choose to stand tall in the face of hardship adds to your legacy of strength. And when you look back, you will see that the very moments that once broke you became the moments that built you. Do not fear the storms that come your way. Do not despise the days of trial. Instead, see them as the architects of your character. For a life without challenge is a life without growth. The mountains before you are not there to block your path. They are there to teach you how to climb. And once you reach the summit, you will realize that the view is only possible because of the climb that tested you. So, when the world turns against you, rise. When life denies you comfort, rise. When rejection wounds you, rise. When injustice tries to break you, rise again. Because to rise above every circumstance is to declare that your spirit is greater than your suffering. It is to stand as a living testament that no matter how dark the night, the dawn will always come. Let your struggles remind you not of your weakness, but of your strength. Let them teach you empathy, so that you may lift others who are still finding their way. For in rising above your own challenges, you light a path for others to follow. That is how greatness multiplies, not by triumphing alone, but by inspiring others to rise with you. Every wound will one day tell a story of survival. Every scar will become a mark of honor, and every trial will become the proof that you were strong enough to face what others could not. So, my friends, embrace your challenges. Do not hide from them. Face them with courage. Walk through them with grace. And rise above every circumstance that seeks to define you. Because you are stronger than you know, braver than you believe, and destined to stand tall, no matter how many times life tries to bring you down. There comes a moment in every person's life when they stand alone in silence, surrounded not by applause or support, but by the heavy weight of their own thoughts. It is in that silence, when the noise of the world fades away, that true strength begins to grow. Strength is not found in the loud victories that others celebrate. It is found in the quiet moments of endurance, in the unseen battles fought within the soul. The world may look for strength in power, wealth, or influence, but those things fade with time. Real strength is something deeper, something the heart builds when the mind wants to give up and the spirit whispers, "Keep going." When we face adversity, we often believe that strength comes from winning, from overcoming the challenge quickly. But the truth is, strength is built in the waiting, in the long nights, when nothing changes and yet we refuse to surrender. It is born in the silence of struggle, in those moments when no one believes in us, when help does not come, and when the only voice we hear is the one inside telling us to rise once more. That voice is the seed of greatness. It is the voice of the human spirit that cannot be defeated by circumstance. During my own life, I came to understand that strength does not come from anger or defiance alone. It comes from discipline, from self-respect, from the decision to hold on to dignity even when everything else is taken away. I have seen people in the darkest of prisons still carry light in their hearts. I have seen men stripped of their freedom, yet walk with the calmness of kings, because they refuse to let hatred or despair conquer their spirit. Freedom begins long before chains are broken. It begins the moment we refuse to let circumstances define who we are. The silence of struggle is not a place of weakness. It is a sacred place where transformation begins. It is where you face your fears, your doubts, and your failures, and learn that they do not own you. When everything around you falls apart, and yet you stand tall, that is strength. When the world doubts your worth, and yet you believe in yourself, that is freedom. When you could choose bitterness, but instead choose peace, that is dignity. These are the victories that no one can see, but they are the victories that change everything. You see, strength is not measured by how loudly you fight, but by how gracefully you endure. It is not about how much power you hold over others, but how much power you hold over yourself. To rise above your circumstances, you must first rise within your heart. You must learn to silence the voice of fear that tells you to stop and listen, instead to the voice of courage that tells you to move forward. The journey may be long and the pain may be deep, but the reward is freedom, the freedom of a soul that cannot be broken. In my years of struggle, I came to see that the mind can be caged, the body can be confined, but the spirit is untouchable. The moment you realize that no one can take away your inner peace unless you allow them to, you become free. That is the power of inner strength. It is not about changing the world around you first. It is about mastering the world within you. When your heart is steady, when your will is unshaken, then no circumstance, no matter how cruel, can defeat you. Many people wait for life to become easier before they begin to feel strong. But my friends, life does not wait for us. We must build our strength in the very moments we feel weakest. When the days are heavy and the nights are long, do not despise the struggle, for it is shaping you. It is teaching you patience. It is teaching you endurance, and it is preparing you for the moment when your strength will be needed most. Every hardship you face, every disappointment you endure, is part of the fire that refines your soul. To refuse to be broken by circumstance is not arrogance, it is faith. It is the quiet belief that life is greater than suffering, that meaning can be found even in pain, and that no darkness lasts forever. This kind of faith is what transforms ordinary people into legends. It is what allows one person to stand tall in the face of injustice, to forgive instead of hate, and to lead others toward light, even when they have walked through years of darkness themselves. There will always be moments when the world tries to take your peace, when you lose what you love, when people betray your trust, when your efforts seem invisible. But those are not signs that you are defeated. They are invitations to grow deeper, to find strength you never knew you had. Every time you choose to stay kind in a cruel world, every time you choose to believe in hope when it seems foolish to do so, you are proving that your spirit is stronger than your circumstances. Freedom and dignity begin not with victory, but with resolve. When you decide that nothing and no one can make you lose your humanity, you become unstoppable. The person who can endure hardship without hatred, who can face injustice without surrendering to bitterness, has already won the greatest battle of all, the battle within the heart. So stand tall in your silence. Let the storms come and go, but remain unmoved. Let the darkness surround you, but keep the fire of your spirit burning bright. For in the quiet moments of struggle, in the depths of pain and uncertainty, your true strength is being born, and once it rises, no force on earth can ever break it again. There are times in life when the road ahead is covered in shadow, when every step feels uncertain, and when the future seems to vanish into the mist of doubt. In those moments, it is not strength alone that carries us forward. It is faith, faith in our purpose, faith in the vision that lives within us, and faith that our journey has meaning, even when we cannot see the destination. Every person who has ever achieved something of worth has walked through darkness, guided only by that small but unshakable light of belief. For it is not the clarity of the path that defines the outcome, but the conviction of the traveler who walks it. Purpose is the light that refuses to die even in the darkest night. It is that inner voice that whispers, "There is more ahead. Keep moving. You may stumble. You may lose your footing. You may even fall. But if your purpose is clear, you will always rise again." The world may try to convince you that circumstances decide your fate, that where you come from, what you have, or how others see you will determine your future. But I have learned that destiny does not belong to the comfortable or the privileged. It belongs to those who refuse to surrender their belief in something greater. Determination is what shapes destiny, not chance or circumstance. When you know your purpose, obstacles become lessons, not barriers. Every challenge begins to reveal its hidden meaning. The closed doors that once filled you with disappointment begin to look like redirections, guiding you toward where you were truly meant to be. There were many times in my life when I could not see the end of the road, when the walls of confinement surrounded me and the silence of isolation felt endless. Yet even there, I held on to purpose. I reminded myself that the struggle was not in vain, that every moment of pain was building the foundation of something greater than myself. Faith in purpose does not mean that the journey will be easy. In fact, it often means the opposite. Those who carry great visions often walk the hardest roads. They are tested not once, but many times until their resolve becomes unbreakable. It is through difficulty that purpose is purified. It is through challenge that faith is proven real. When life denies you comfort, when your dreams seem to slip away, that is the moment to remind yourself why you began. For a vision without faith will fade, but faith without vision has nowhere to go. You must hold both the dream that pulls you forward and the belief that no circumstance can destroy it. There will be nights when doubt creeps in, whispering that you are lost. There will be days when people question your choices, when the weight of uncertainty presses down upon your shoulders. But you must remember, the path of purpose is rarely straight. It twists, it bends, it challenges your patience and your courage. Yet every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to the place where your vision becomes real. Do not mistake delay for denial. Life sometimes holds us back, not to punish us, but to prepare us, to make us strong enough to carry the greatness we have been called to achieve. Determination is the bridge between where you are and where you are destined to go. It is the fire that keeps burning when everything else grows cold. Circumstances may change, people may come and go, seasons may shift, but determination is a choice that belongs to you alone. It is the decision to say, no matter how many times I fall, I will stand again. No matter how dark the night, I will keep my eyes on the dawn. Those who live by purpose understand that failure is not the end. It is a teacher. It shapes your spirit, sharpens your focus, and strengthens your will. Every setback carries within it the seed of a greater comeback. I have seen men and women who had nothing, no wealth, no power, no recognition, yet they changed the world because they had faith in their purpose. They believed that one act of courage could spark hope, that one small step could start a movement, and that one determined heart could outlast 1,000 storms. This is the power of vision. It is not measured by what you see with your eyes, but by what you see with your heart. Even when all evidence points to defeat, your vision reminds you that the story is not over. When you walk in purpose, you carry a power that no circumstance can steal. You begin to realize that the world around you may not always be kind, but your response can always be strong. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And begin asking, what is this trying to teach me? That shift in perspective turns pain into power and confusion into clarity. Purpose transforms suffering into meaning, and meaning gives birth to hope. And hope, my friends, is the strongest force on earth. It can lift a broken soul, heal a divided nation, and inspire generations to believe again. There will be times when your purpose will demand sacrifice, when you must give up comfort to pursue what is right, when you must walk alone while others take the easy road. But remember this, the path of vision is never wasted. Every step you take in faith plants a seed that will bloom in its own time. You may not see the harvest, but you are part of its creation. And when you look back, you will realize that even the moments that once hurt the most were the ones that shaped your strength the deepest. So, my dear friends, hold on to your purpose like a flame in the wind. Protect it, feed it, believe in it even when the world doubts you. Let your determination rise higher than your fear, and let your faith burn brighter than your pain. For those who keep faith in their vision, even in the darkest of times, will find that no circumstance is strong enough to break them. The path may be uncertain, the nights may be long, but your purpose will always be your light, a light that leads not only you, but all who follow out of darkness and into the dawn of destiny. There are moments in life when the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear, when everything we have built seems to crumble before our eyes, and when our hearts ache with the pain of defeat. Yet even in those moments of deep despair, there lies within every human being a power greater than any force that seeks to break them. It is the power of the Spirit, the quiet, unyielding strength that refuses to bow, refuses to surrender, and refuses to be imprisoned by circumstance. The body may be confined, the path may be blocked, but the spirit, that sacred fire within, remains free. It is this spirit of resilience that carries us forward when the world tells us to give up, when hope fades, and when the night seems endless. You may take away a person's comfort, you may strip away their possessions, you may even lock away their freedom, but you cannot touch their spirit unless they allow it. The spirit is the fortress of the soul, unbreakable, untamable, and eternal. It is in the face of suffering that we discover its strength. For when everything external is taken from us, we are left with only ourselves. And it is in that silence, in that confrontation with our own essence, that we learn what true resilience means. It is not the absence of pain, nor the denial of hardship. It is the courage to endure them with faith and dignity. When I speak of resilience, I do not speak of mere survival. I speak of rising above the pain, transforming it into wisdom, and using it as fuel to keep moving forward. There were times when I was confined behind walls of concrete and steel, when days stretched into years, and freedom was nothing more than a distant dream. Yet in those years, I came to understand something powerful. The walls that surround you cannot hold you if your spirit remains unbroken. The true prison is not the one built by others. It is the one we build within ourselves when we surrender to despair. Resilience is born in the heart that refuses to let the world decide its fate. It is born in those who, despite every hardship, choose to hope again. It is not about denying reality, but about shaping it. Life will test you, it will push you, bend you, and sometimes bring you to your knees. But resilience is that quiet whisper in your soul that says, I will rise again. It is the light that flickers even in the darkest storm, refusing to go out. It is the voice of the human spirit declaring, you may wound me, but you will not break me. The strongest people are not those who have never fallen. They are those who have fallen 1,000 times and found the strength to rise again each time. They are the ones who have walked through fire and emerged stronger, not because they were untouched, but because they learned to walk through the flames without losing their purpose. Every scar tells a story of survival. Every tear holds a lesson of endurance, and every failure builds a foundation for future strength. This is the beauty of the resilient spirit. It grows stronger with every trial. It shines brighter after every darkness, and it stands taller after every storm. There will be times when fear grips your heart, when the future feels uncertain, and when your strength feels gone. In those moments, remember that resilience is not about having no fear. It is about having the courage to move forward in spite of it. The brave are not fearless. They are simply those who act even when fear whispers in their ear. Resilience is built in the moments when you choose faith over doubt, when you choose love over hate, when you choose hope over despair. Each of these choices, no matter how small, strengthens the walls of your spirit until nothing can shake them. The human spirit is powerful beyond measure. It can endure suffering, loss, and injustice, and still find ways to love, to dream, and to build again. That is the miracle of resilience. When you stand before your challenges and say, I will not be defeated, you awaken a strength within you that you never knew existed. The world may throw stones in your path, but you can use those same stones to build your foundation. Every setback can become a stepping stone if your mind and heart are determined to keep moving. When we rise above our pain, we become examples to others. Our resilience becomes a beacon of hope for those who have lost their way. Every act of endurance sends a message that no wall is too high, no chain too strong, and no darkness too deep to extinguish the light of the human spirit. To rise above does not mean that we forget our pain. It means we transform it. It means we take what was meant to destroy us and turn it into the strength that carries us forward. So when life tests you, and it surely will, do not let the weight of your circumstances convince you that you are weak. You are not the victim of your struggle. You are the author of your comeback. Within you lies a spirit that has endured generations of hardship, that has survived injustice, loss, and despair, and still continues to rise. Remember that the measure of a person is not how much comfort they have known, but how much difficulty they have overcome with grace. Even in your lowest moments, when everything feels lost, remind yourself that the fire within you burns brighter than the darkness around you. The chains of hardship may restrain your body, but they can never silence your will. The storms of life may shake your foundation, but they can never destroy the roots of your courage. That is what it means to be resilient to stand tall in the face of every trial, to rise above every defeat, and to walk forward with faith that tomorrow holds something better. My friends, no matter what life takes from you, never surrender your spirit. Protect it, nurture it, let it rise higher than your suffering. Because once you understand that the power within you is greater than the obstacles before you, you will know that no force on earth can truly imprison you. The spirit of resilience is not a gift given to a few. It is the birthright of all humanity. You are stronger than you think, braver than you feel, and destined to rise again and again above every circumstance that tries to break you. There is a powerful truth that we often forget in our search for strength. No one truly rises alone. The strength of one soul is bound to the strength of another. When one person stands against the tide, their courage becomes a light that guides others through the storm. It is through unity and compassion that the world has always found its greatest hope. Alone, we can endure. Together, we can transform. Every act of kindness, every hand extended toward another in pain, becomes a bridge between hearts, a reminder that humanity is strongest when it stands together. In times of struggle, when the weight of the world bears down upon us, it is easy to believe that our suffering is ours alone. But when you look closely, you will see that your pain echoes in the hearts of others, and their strength can become your own. Unity is not built by people who have never known pain. It is built by those who have felt it deeply and choose to use their scars as instruments of healing. When we rise, we must not rise for ourselves alone. We must rise for those who have fallen, for those whose voices tremble, for those who still search for courage in the shadows. The human heart was never meant to live in isolation. It beats in rhythm with others. It finds purpose in connection, and it draws its greatest strength from love and compassion. Compassion is not weakness. It is the highest form of strength. To feel another's pain and still have the will to help is the mark of true courage. To forgive instead of hate, to heal instead of harm, that is where real power lives. The world has seen enough of division, enough of greed, enough of indifference. What it needs now are hearts that see beyond themselves, hands that lift rather than strike, and spirits that believe that our shared humanity is more powerful than our differences. There were moments in my life when I stood in the darkness of confinement, far from the warmth of home and the voices